Yeah, absolutely. Caitlin has been an unbelievable addition. Her demeanor in regards to how she supports, how she challenges, and how she helps us operate in a positive state moving forward. The way that she's done that is so authentic to herself, but so important in the role. She knows the league inside and out. She also knows this club inside and out. So I couldn't be more thrilled for her. We work very well together in the short time that we've had the opportunity to do it in an interim state. So yeah, just completely excited. I think I can speak for the whole group. We're all very excited and very happy for her appointment.
How's your relationship with her? I know she spoke very highly of you guys, and you guys are starting to build a nice relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always growing, which is a great thing. I think we have a very good relationship. I also think it's she obviously understands and knows the game. A local player played at U of L, so it's been a nice connection in that sense. When there's a player of interest or thoughts in regards to that, we're very aligned, and we felt very aligned very early on. So yeah, I think very highly of her. She gets things done, and she does it in a way that, again, is authentic to herself, but very professional. I do believe she's going to be a huge part of the positive direction that the club's headed in, and pushing it and continuing to push it in that way. Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What does it look like in terms of how involved you are in looking for players, or do you just kind of tell her, hey, man,
Yeah.
need this? What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've done a really good job at narrowing down our process. It starts off with an identification and availability. It then goes to the IDP coach, depending on where that player's positionally being looked at. Once it gets a certain number and approval from that, it then comes to myself and Caitlin connect. We'll have a meeting with the player, Zoom with the player, and then it's kind of from there. So the process itself has been very narrowed down, very specific, and very clean. So that's been something that's drastically has been a big improvement for us, and I think an area that we really wanted to just focus on.
And it seems like the process is working. And we were just talking to Katie about all your rookies have come in and played and contributed. And is that evidence that you feel like what you guys are doing is working? You're signing players you can use.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest pieces has been just the alignment from a character's perspective of like what we're looking for these players to embody. I spoke very briefly about it yesterday in broadcast of when we are pulling up these Y Scout clips, for example, when we're looking at the identification of the player, when we're looking at an attacking play, for example, one of the biggest things and the first things I'm looking at is recovery, 1v1 duels. Are they going to put the work in without the ball? Because it gives me a little bit more answers with how effective they will be with it and what I believe is coachable. Mentality for me is not coachable. You have it and we're enhancing it even higher, or you don't have it. And so for me, it's really important to see what players look like off the ball, no matter what position they're in. So I believe we really identified that in the off season, and we're able to bring in players that we felt could impact in that space. So yeah, very pleased in that sense.
Speaking of mentality, do you like how your group has responded over the last few matches?
Yeah.
Especially after that tough defeat here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously, post the San Diego match, the 4-1 at home, I think we had some good conversation as a group leading into that following week. Some conversations about getting back to the basics and what that meant for us as a group. I think it was very open, honest, transparent conversation as a staff, as players. Lots of self-reflection. And I'm very pleased with the group's response. And now it's going to be about consistency.
Seattle poses a little bit of a unique challenge. I think they've
Yeah.
scored 7 goals this year with 7 different goal scorers. How do you prepare for a team where maybe you just can't focus on like this specific goal?
Yeah, I also think obviously a very respectable side, very well coached, good players. They've also shown their tactical flexibility and their tactical adaptation to other teams and to their identity. So I think it's just preparing for what we believe they will bring. And where opportunities we feel we will have throughout the match, outside of several other key factors. But they have shown they've adjusted shapes. They've adjusted shapes in game. They've just adjusted shapes game by game. So I think it's important that we are aware of that and understand that.
So I think their last matchup was quite a bit against Houston. They were accused of kind of playing a boring match, both Houston and Seattle. Is that something that you feel like racing is prepared to do, is kind of maybe just kind of get into a boring match? It might be weather affected tomorrow. Is that something just kind of get down, get 3 points and get out? Are you kind of prepared to play a rough match with a team that maybe is a little more defensively behind it?
Yeah, no, look, I think for us it's just staying true to our identity, the consistency that I just mentioned that we would like to continue to bring from these last 3 matches, starting with Portland until our last match. I think we've showcased a lot of our identity for longer periods of times that I had spoken about earlier in season. We wanted to put more of a full game together. So I think for us, it's coming into that identity again, what we've identified as their threats and possible changes that they could make or could propose, and just preparing the group as much as possible, and obviously as a staff being prepared.
You really started to build that identity through the press. The press has looked really good in the last few matches. That's something you can even ramp up even more.
Yeah, no, I think for us, I think the group's really come into the expectations, the belief, the understanding, the togetherness, and all of that. And I think there's just a lot of pieces that go into what that looks like and how it's how it can continue with its aggression. But I think the group's mentally in a good spot, and so we, like I said, the most important piece right now is just trending in the right direction, and again focusing on performance. I think when we've taken some time to just strictly say we want to look at our performance, we want to be proud of the performance we put on, we want to put it on for a longer period of time, and the results carry themselves from there. Good. Oh.
Can I just ask?
Yeah, of course.
This may be a dumb question, but is there maybe more of an adjustment when you have a goalie change like you've had to have? Just because
No,
Katie's been back there and
Yeah.
running the show for a while.
No adjustments. It's our systems. Blooms knows our systems. She stepped in and she's done a fantastic job. So no adjustments. She's just stepped in and is doing the role in a very, very, very good manner. Thank you. Good question. Bye, guys. Nice to see you.